Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, my name is Gifty. A warm and pleasant welcome to you. I hope you are all doing well. In today's video, we are making a very simple but flavor-packed fish stew. So if you want to see how I make this, let me introduce you to the list of ingredients. Let's get started. If you like this video, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe with your family and friends. Let's dive in. For my list of ingredients, I have 4½ onions, 1 bell pepper, I have adobo, my homemade tomato sauce. I have the last 2 containers. Then I have, since I'm making a big pot of tomato stew, so I have 2 extra crushed canned tomatoes. I have about a tablespoon of black pepper, a tablespoon of aniseed, and then over here I have about 12 habaneros, and then I have some dill weeds for that nice beautiful aromatic flavor. I have some ginger, and then I have about a thumb size of turmeric. Then I have 5 cloves of garlic. Over here I have cornstarch. The fish, I'm using yellowtail snapper and oil to fry, and I'll also introduce you to the spices once we get there. I'll start off by marinating the fish. So my hands are clean. I'll use some adobo. You can also use salt, but if you have been following this channel, you know I love my adobo, so I'll use that. I'll also use some cornstarch, about 3 teaspoons of cornstarch, to get that nice beautiful outer crust, and also to hold the fish, but we want that fluffy and soft inside. So I'll go ahead and just mix it and make sure everything is well coated. I'll also add some fresh cracked black pepper to it. Okay, so our fish is nicely seasoned. I'm going to move that to the side and go ahead and start prepping my onions and other ingredients. Here's my turmeric. For the turmeric and the ginger, I choose to leave the skin on. So here are all my ingredients. All the produce. I'm going to go ahead and wash them, and I also left 1½ of the onions, which I will be slicing as we cook the stew. So my pan is nice and warmed up. I'm going to add in the frying oil. Our oil is heated up, so I'm going to add the pieces of fish in here so we can fry it. Also cover this with my splatter guard to make the cleaning process a breeze so the oil doesn't splatter all over. Okay guys, so this is how the fish is looking. I have a line strainer over here. I'm going to take it out. You don't want it too hard, you know, so you want it to be nice and soft inside. And I'll put it in the paper towel. So I'll continue to fry this And once we're done, we move on to making our stew. I also have some seasoned golden pompano over here, so I'm going to go ahead and grill that in the or air fry it in the air fryer. I have a video of that, so I'll link it down below for your convenience. Do check it out. Here's my last batch of fish. Okay guys, so with my food processor, I'm going to blend my produce, all the peppers and everything. You can go ahead and use a blender if you don't have a food processor. I'll also add in the anise and the peppercorns. We're almost done blending here, and then we'll proceed to making the stew. Our oil is nicely heated up. I'm going to add in the blended peppers and onions. Go ahead and cover it. Once you cover it, you want to fry on a low-medium heat. Okay, so the stew has been frying. I'll go ahead and add in the sliced onions. As you know, onions, so I like to add a lot of onions into my cooking. So I added about one large onion. So I'll let this go ahead and cook as well. Alright you guys, so the onion has been cooking for some time. This is how it's looking so far. I'm going to go ahead and add, I have just the last bit of the sprig of dill, so I'm just going to add that one in, and I'll also add in 3 bay leaves, my curry powder, and also 2 tablespoons of natural spices. This is a combination of nutmeg, rosemary, cloves, you know, all those beautiful flavors. So I'm just going to add 2 tablespoons of that. I will stir it and let it cook for about 10 minutes, and we'll move on to proceed to the next step. So the stew has been cooking for about 10 minutes now. It's been frying for about 10 minutes now. It smells really incredible. I'll go ahead and season this layer of it. So I'll add about 2 teaspoons of salt, and I'll also add in the canned tomatoes. I'll go ahead and rinse the can, and I'll add it to it. Okay. So I'll let this cook for about 20 minutes. Since my the homemade one is really cooked down and concentrated, I'll let this go for about 20 minutes so it can cook down a little bit, and then I'll add in the homemade one. So the stew has been frying for about 30 minutes. I'll go ahead and add in the homemade one. If you're using all homemade, then you don't have to go through this process. But I want to make a big batch so I can save some, and it's time saving as well. So this is it. Give it a stir, and I'll let this, my heat is on low as well, so I'll let this cook until it's time for me to move on to the next stage, and I'll bring you along. But it's smelling great. After adding in the tomatoes, I'll go ahead and season this layer as well. So I'm adding in a few tablespoons of salt, and I'll go ahead and give it a stir. And guys, the aroma, oh my word, I wish you were here. I will serve you up some. So I'll let this fry for about 20 to 30 minutes and we'll proceed to the next step. Okay, so this is how the stew is looking after frying for about 20 to 30 minutes. Absolutely delicious. So in this bowl, I have a little bit over a quarter cup of fresh ground fish powder and some Ghana nutmeg. So I blended it in my spice blender, and I'll go ahead add it to it, and I'll also add in about 2 more tablespoons of curry powder and 2 tablespoons of sweet paprika. I'll now go ahead and give it a stir, and guys, it smells really incredible. It smells amazing. So if you don't have the fish powder, you can just go ahead and use stock cube. If that's what you have, that's fine. It smells amazing. So I'll let it go for about 15 more minutes. So 15 minutes is up. Now I'll go ahead and scoop some of the tomato stew off and reserve it on the side for a different recipe, or anytime I need tomato stew for something else. And I'll go ahead and add in some of the fish. I'm using both types of fish, the red fish and the golden pompano. And I also scooped some of the excess oil off. I tasted for salt. I needed a little bit more, so I added some adobo to it, and I'll go ahead and give it a stir and let it cook for about 5 to 10 minutes, just so all the flavors can marry well together. So it's time to add in my finishing touches. I have some carrots, some onions, some green pepper, and a little bit of rosemary. So I'll let this simmer for about 10 minutes and that'll be it. Alright you guys, so our stew is ready. I'm telling you, this stew is all about the onions. Onions everywhere, every type of onion. So at this point I'm adding in some spring onions for that nice fragrance and freshness. So for my last addition, I had some shallots available, so I went ahead and sliced it into rounds and added it to it, and we are done. We are ready to eat, guys. This stew, it was spicy. If you don't like spicy food, then I will entreat you to reduce the amount of chili that you use, but it was absolutely delicious, to the point that my boys wanted to take some to school with pasta the next day. Hello, need I say more? Go ahead and try this stew, and trust me, you will absolutely love it. I also added about a tablespoon of rosemary, which I forgot to record that, and guys, this is it. I served it with some basmati rice and some leftover of the fried cabbage that I had. I have that video, I will link it as well. I also have 2 different tomato based stews on the channel. All have different tastes, and so delicious, y'all. So delicious. I hope you really do give this recipe a try, and come back and let me know in the comment section your feedback. If you do try it, send me your picture or tag me on Instagram and on Facebook as Cooking with Gifty, and I'll leave the ingredients in the description box down below. Alright, so you can enjoy this stew with virtually anything, with kenkey, your pasta, whatever floats your boat. Absolutely delicious. I know this is a lengthy video, but don't skip so you can replicate this delicious stew for your family or for just yourself. Until we meet again, remember to stay blessed, stay out of trouble, and be well. Bye, y'all.